Hello, and welcome to a honky tonk episode of the Drywall Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Harmon. With us today, Kyle Herbert out of Crawford, Ontario. At 23, Kyle is the youngest person to be on the Drywall Podcast thus far. This might be the reason he's so quick to speak his mind when it comes to maybe having a bad tool experience. Did you call the shop or try to get a hold of somebody?
Nope, right to Instagram. I am that guy. I don't hold back. I will go right to Instagram.
Oh, you were
put
like,
someone on blast.
okay, you were like, God damn
Yeah,
it, these tools suck, and you went like straight to
yeah,
Instagram. You were like, I'm switching
yeah,
to. So, well, you're still running the Columbia,
yeah.
right?
Okay, no, I'm not running Columbia boxes, or I'm not running. I'm
Okay.
man. You know what? If I could paint them a different color, I would. Okay, it's just
Okay, all
I'm
right,
just
fair
too
enough.
lazy.
Okay, so
Um,
instead,
but
though, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So instead of like calling the company or calling CSR, but you did call CSR. You went on
they
to
called me.
you
Yeah,
went on to Instagram and blasted. So after you went on Instagram, then CSR reached out to you. Kyle is young, but I like his energy, and we do have a good conversation. This month's episode is brought to you exclusively by Can-Am Tools. In the months of March and April, Can-Am is supporting and sponsoring the Drywall Podcast. Can-Am Tools is also celebrating 50 years of excellence as the original and leading inventor of the semi-automatic drywall finishing tool. Their line of tools is centered around the compound tube, one of the most versatile tubes on the market. If you've had a hankering for getting your hands on some of these amazing tools throughout the months of March and April, you now have a chance. These tools are going to be at a discounted price. If you go to Can-Am Tools and enter promo code TDP15, tune in next Friday for my interview with company president Wolfgang Dombrowski. The Drywall Podcast was brought to you by Fresco Harmony, making walls better since 2004. Now you can get Fresco Harmony online at csrbuilding.com. Wondering how you can listen to more episodes? You can go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and also Podbean to listen to all of the podcasts on those various platforms. For now, from mullets to footwear, we have Kyle Herbert on the 43rd episode of the Drywall Podcast. Let's get into it.
this is the face of the honky tonk taper, mullet, and everything.
What? Do you have a mullet?
I do. I do.
Shut the hell up, dude. Take your hat off. Let's see it. I want to see it.
It's a little messed up. It's a little tough
No,
mess
that's
right
all
now, but
long. That's all long, dude. That ain't no mullet.
no, I had to get the sides trimmed. That's been like a good solid 4.5 months, but it's got shaped for the mullet. I
Do
just got
your
to get the top
tops
cut.
the top's long though, right?
Yeah, that's supposed to get cut as well as the
Yeah.
sides, but I wanted to grow it out a bit more in the back because I got a wicked
Yeah.
cowlick going
You
on.
know what? Now this is where I can
So
brag about being a Gen Xer because mullets, no joke. When I played soccer, high school soccer, every kid on the team had a mullet. Like
yeah, yeah,
I came from, and myself included, like we all had mullets and everybody's mullet was different. And like mullets were the shit. Like no joke.
yeah. They're making a comeback, and a lot of the
Are they really?
Canadian, yeah, oh, they're pretty big now, and a lot of the Canadian hockey guys,
Okay.
um, like the more like the Southern Ontario kind of guys, like close to Toronto, Oakthills,
Okay.
those kind of hockey guys. They have what they call the flow, and
Yeah.
I don't know why it's no different than a mullet. It's basically what I have, but it's more greasy and it's disgusting looking.
Okay.
And it's just, yeah, they try and be cool and try to have a mullet, but they call it a flow because
A
I
flow.
don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just their thing.
I've heard of
They're
a
weird.
Kentucky waterfall.
I have no clue what the hell that is.
It's like
No clue.
short on the front, and then boom, you got like party in the back. It's like business in the front, party in the
Oh,
back.
so
Yeah.
like a mullet kind of thing then.
Yeah. It's a mullet.
Gotcha.
It's a type of mullet. They call it Kentucky waterfall.
Well, I
honky
don't know
tonk
why
tape.
we're just saying mullet.
Honky tonk taper should know this shit. Have you watched
Yeah,
Joe Dirt? Have you watched Joe Dirt?
love Joe Dirt.
Okay. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
First and second one.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. We have Kyle Herbert, Peerless Taping. We only have a couple of years to dig through here, so we're really going to have to extend the time period because Kyle
Yeah.
is young. Like you are young. And are you first generation?
First generation meaning like
Drywaller.
taper.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm second generation. Yeah.
So your dad was a
Yeah.
finisher?
He was a boardman. Well, he was in the union for a lot of years, so he would do the whole framing, installation, drywall, then finishing.
Okay.
And then guess he just got sick of it because union pay here is like dog shit.
Really?
And eventually, yeah, it's terrible, disgusting.
What the
You
hell,
get paid
union?
peanuts. Yeah, exactly. 35 cents a square foot compared to my 60, sometimes 75 cents a square foot.
So
You know, it's
you're getting double. And are you the business owner or are you working for your dad?
no, I'm a business owner. My dad is retired now.
Your dad retired
Yeah,
and
he retired about 10 years
he
ago.
did he give you Peerless Taping or is that your own name and stuff?
He had Peerless Construction, um,
Okay.
and that kind of it funded Peerless Taping. I was like, you know what? I like the sound of that. That's kind of cool. Plus, it has some kind of like sentimental value, right?
Yeah.
So he kind of just signed the rights to me. I opened up my business, got a sole proprietorship,
Okay.
and then eventually, boom, got everything else I needed.
Okay. And you are essentially as it pertains to the Drywall podcast, you are peerless in that you're the
Yes.
youngest, you're the youngest that we've had on the show. So that's super cool. There was no damn podcast when I was coming up, man, 23. And I started in the union, but there was no podcast, there was no internet. I mean, as far as there was internet, but there was no social media at all.
Yeah, you were telling me yesterday about how you were on the era of MySpace
Yeah.
eventually at one point.
MySpace was
That's
like MySpace was even like I never got into it. I think I had a profile for a little bit, but I didn't know how to do it. You have to understand, like like all of that was like new. It was mind blowing. I was pondering about it the other day. Like I remember being at Starbucks, like hanging out with a friend of mine, and he was staring at his phone, and I was thinking to myself, what the fuck could you possibly be doing on that thing that's so important that you can't like hang out with us? That was like one of my, so I remember like the first experiences of people like tuning out in a group like that, because
yeah.
that never existed. Now, fuck, you sit around with your friends, everybody's just looking at their phones, you know.
Oh, it pisses me off. Pisses me off. We'll go out. Me and some buddies will go out. There's this place in Owen
Yeah.
Sound called the Harb,
Okay.
and it's more of it's like a club kind of thing. Not really, but like it is on the weekends. We'll go there. Like
Like
everyone's on
the
their
harbor, like the harb.
as in like the Harbor Inn.
Yeah.
It's a place in Owen Sound.
Okay.
It's a cool place, but they're always on their goddamn phones, and it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
We should have left the fucking phones at home
Yeah.
because we're here to have drinks,
Yeah.
get a little tipsy maybe, and have some fun. Not sit on
Yeah.
TikTok or Tinder or Bumble, Grinder, even like
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like it's annoying. I hate when I see people on their phones and they're out with people.
Yeah. You know what a fun thing to do is if your buddies are into it, you put everybody puts their phone in the center of the table. Maybe you've done this, and then like whoever reaches for their phone first has to pay for dinner or drinks or whatever.
It's not a
Like,
bad idea. I kind of want to do that.
yeah,
But you see,
yeah.
I'm pretty slick about it, right? I have an Apple Watch, so I can just like, like, oh,
No, that
so
doesn't
so and so
count.
is texting me. I can respond.
No.
No,
No. If you have an Apple Watch, you have to take it off or or put it in the table in the hat. You put a
yeah,
hat, all the phones go in the hat, and you just sit there.
yeah,
Enjoy dinner. And then when it's done, you can
yeah,
pay for your dinner or whatever. If somebody has to look at their phone, pay for dinner. Done.
exactly. Now, there's got to be some kind of rules though. What if it's like an absolute emergency?
You're paying for fucking dinner. You threw your shit in. That's
All right, fair enough.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could say, emergencies excluded. Another fun thing we do credit card where like if I go out with a bunch of
Oh,
people, we'll throw the credit cards in a
yeah,
hat and like, whoever has to pay. That's a fun one.
yeah, we do that too.
Unless you lose, then it sucks.
Well, yeah, you're left with like a $200 bill.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah,
I'm gonna
we
stray
do that
off. I'm
too.
gonna stray off of drywall a little bit because I can. It's my pot. It's my show. I can do whatever I want. And
Yeah,
so you rambled off a couple of platforms. A couple of those were dating platforms, correct? Grinder,
yeah,
whatever. I so
yeah,
since I also dropped to you that I met a girl on Match.com, which was, I
yeah,
believe, stop me if I'm wrong, the first dating platform. I think there was Match.com and then there was eHarmony. Like those were very early on. And that's
yeah.
how I
And
got
then
to
and then Christian Mingle. You
stay
never
away
heard of
from
Christian
that.
Mingle?
There's like a farmer one too.
Oh,
Stay
I
away.
know.
No thanks.
Yeah,
But like yeah, that's how I got to Albuquerque. Was I met a girl on Match.com and we hit it off, and that's how I got down from Colorado to Albuquerque originally. Since then though, I have not been on. I've been married for 8 years, together with my wife for 11. So I know that the dating apps have really evolved, but I have not partaken. So is that something
yeah,
from a younger age? I mean, is that something that you partake in? Do you have a girlfriend?
absolutely.
You do.
I do.
And do all the
Yes.
younger generations, is that like the route they go? It's just easier. I can go if I'm looking for romance, I can go here. If I just want to hook up, I can go here.
See, that's the thing though. In today's day and age, there is no like romance anymore. And if there is, but like it's very like very rare you'll find any kind of romance. I think I've picked a good one, right? Because pretty much all Tinder and Bumble is these days is just a fuck. That's it.
Okay. Okay, so those are
Like,
hookups. Which
yeah,
which
but
one you're saying that you found romance, or you found somebody that, or a platform that you like? What
yeah,
are you saying? What are you saying? You have a
uh,
platform. Which
yeah,
platform?
yeah, Tinder.
Tinder. Okay, that's
Yeah,
your go. That's
I
your
was
go-to.
on, yeah, and then like one day I was kind of just swiping. I was in my buddy's house. Actually, I was bored in his garage,
Okay.
and I was like, I'm gonna hop on Tinder. Sure as shit,
Yeah.
right then and there. I'm like, hey, she's kind of cute. She lives like 15 minutes away. Hey,
Done.
come on over and bring beer. Why don't you? Boom. Since then, every weekend hanging out. And eventually when you hang out with someone for too long, you kind of fall in love with them. And now here we are. Now we have a house together.
How
Yeah.
long have you guys been hanging out?
Going on 2 years now.
Oh, okay, so a
Like
little
2 years
while.
together. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. You gonna ask her? You gonna ask her to marry, or is that like too soon?
Dude, I'm only
At le-
23, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Yeah. I
I
mean, she's
didn't get.
27, so I might have to hurry up.
Ooh, nice, nice. And are you
Yeah.
still on the dating platform, or she was like, no, you can't be on no dating
No,
platforms?
no.
No.
You know what? She
Okay.
didn't say anything. It's one of those things that after a few months, you're like, you know what? Out of
Yeah.
respect, let's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that something you guys made a combined commitment to? Did you talk about it, or was it like just sort of unsaid?
I'm kind of unset. I think it got to the point where, like, since we're seeing each other exclusively every single weekend, and I was spending weekends there,
Okay.
and then kind of making her a higher priority than my friends instead, it kind of got to the point where I was like, you know what? Okay, we're kind of serious. Let's just
Yeah.
make it a thing. And then
Right.
we met in June, and then by October, everything was said and done. Boom, together, and then yeah.
Beautiful. So
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 that's the
so
situation.
it does
Yeah,
it
it's
it
a
does
love
work.
story.
But
Yeah,
that's common. That didn't exist in my when I, in
yeah,
my dating world. You had to be awkward and you had to, that has its own merit too, but it's a big pain in the ass. I mean, certainly online dating would be a lot easier.
yeah. It definitely is. They make it kind of easy for you because oh boy, I gotta think back to how Tinder works.
Yeah,
Pretty much like
you gotta
all
think
of
back like 2 years, dude.
yeah,
That's like yesterday
yeah.
for me, man.
Oh jeez, like they narrow it down to like what your interests are,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then right, you can pinpoint like height even of the person you're
right.
looking for. So you're basically building your own character that you want to find, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's they
yeah.
make it pretty specific these days.
So you are close to Owen Sound, and we just had Drywall podcast with Meg Robertson of Meg's Drywall. She's in
Yes,
Owen Sound. Sounds like a beautiful place. Um,
it is.
Cold, right? Pretty cold right
Yes.
now.
Owen Sound. Oh yeah, right now it says it's 0 degrees Celsius, but I think it feels like minus 15.
Okay, it's cold.
So it's oh yeah, it's a shiver. But yeah, Owen Sound, it's not a bad place. They call it the asshole of Ontario, and
Interesting.
the only reason why they call it that because no matter which way you go into Owen Sound, you have to go down a hill.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if you're heading south into Owen Sound, north, east, or west, you're going down a hill into the
All
asshole.
all cheeks lead to the asshole. Now, I talked to
Yeah,
Meg. She sounds like she has a pretty cool crew. She's got girls working for her. She's got guys working for her. Sounds
yeah,
like a good time. She's got like 6 people. They
yeah,
sub out some stuff. Um,
yeah.
th-
She is like very polite and nice. So what happened was the homeowner reached out to someone that I've done some work for, some nice detail work for.
okay.
Um, he was like, "Hey, just want to know, are you in like the Meaford area?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm within an hour or so. Well, what's up?" He was like, "Well, do you want to go take a look at this job?" He didn't tell me who had done it previously. He just says that the
Okay.
homeowner wasn't happy because they started the project in December, like before Christmas, well before Christmas, and it
Okay.
hasn't been completed.
Okay.
It's gone to the point now where there are other trades going on. Yeah. So
That's a good
I was like, yeah,
strategy
I'll go
too.
take a look at
The
it.
you know, they'll like go in,
Yeah.
throw up 40 sheets and be like, okay, we've claimed our stake, and then like fucking bail and go do
Yeah.
other work. Collect that first draw, bail, go do other work. They're way overextended and they
Yeah.
don't get back to the fucking house. And you're sitting there like, when are you gonna fucking come finish this shit, dude? You started it like a month
Yeah.
ago. This is ridiculous. So now my
Yeah.
philosophy around that, and this is a good conversation. My philosophy around that is one job at a fucking time. I think if you're running around spinning your wheels, you end up making the same amount of money anyways. You're just pissing people off. Whereas I've got one
Yeah.
guy, he's on a huge job right now. It's going to take him a month and a half. But you know what? We're still going to do it faster than somebody, starting the job, pulling off for a month, and then coming back with like 5 guys and blowing it out in a week. It's the same time frame, We're
Yeah.
not spinning our wheels. My guys gets to go up there every day. I'm booking out into the
Mhm.
future. And to me, that's just a better way to do it. If you have one guy. And it seems like it would be easier to get
Yeah.
overextended maybe if I had a larger crew, because then I'm dealing with
Yeah.
scheduling too and shit like that. So that gets tricky.
Yeah. I've definitely taken on quite a few jobs, more than I would ever want to again. When I was doing subdivision work, um, at the time I wasn't living in this house. I was actually living about an hour and a half away from the job site. Um, so for anybody that listens that is in Southern Ontario, I'm sure they know what Port Elgin is. It's a beautiful lakeside town.
Okay.
Um, so I started doing work in Port Elgin, and I lived in a town called Listowel, and that's about an hour and a half away, about an hour and a half drive one way.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? If I'm driving an hour and a half every day, I want to do as much as I possibly can in a day. So it got to the point where I was working in the subdivision. I was like, you know what? I want two houses at the same time. Thankfully, these houses were between 45 to 6,000 board feet, including the
Okay.
garage.
Okay.
9 foot ceilings and no
Beautiful.
finished basement, usually bungalows, super duper easy. I was doing two of them at a time, and I think the turnaround was between 8 to 10 days.
Okay.
Doing that all summer long with the summer heat just burnt me right out. And I couldn't do it again.
Okay.
Excuse me. Um, if you do two jobs at once at the same time, it's great if they're right next to each other, right? But if you have a
Right.
house here and you gotta
Smart.
drive all the way over there to go do that,
Yeah.
it's like, why would you do that? It's not smart. That's how you do overexert yourself, and that's how you
Yeah.
burn out a whole lot quicker.
Yeah. Yeah, even patching too. I'll go around and do patching, but I try to design it so they're in the same sort of proximity, as a because
Yeah,
I'm pretty much lining him up and he knocks him down. So, that's kind of we have a good partnership. I talk to the client about color, because we're just doing fresco.
yep,
So we talk about color. I do a lot of that, what I call damage control. I'm dealing with the client, or maybe they
yeah,
they don't like a wall, something needs to look different, or there's a patch over here, whatever, or I'm doing bids. So after this interview, I got to drive out and do measurements on a house, so I'm doing that kind of stuff, selling product.
yeah.
And Jack's up there, you know, because
Just working away.
yeah, if I'm doing that, then I'm not doing this. So also like realizing I used to do that, but now I don't have the time. So like
Yeah,
figuring out that balance, man, that's really hard. And so
yeah.
it's just you. Do you have any helpers?
Nope, just me, myself, and I.
Okay. All right. And that's fine
Yeah.
when you're younger too, you have more energy, you can tackle it harder. I remember when I was
Yep.
23, I could go hard like all day.
Oh yeah.
And so when you go to do a house, are you running the tools and all that stuff? Are you a hand finisher?
I am what people up here called a wet taper. That is
Okay.
slot box, ship box, all
Nice.
that kind of stuff. We use yeah. It's my
Did
favorite
your
method.
dad
It's my
did your
favorite.
dad did your dad do it that way?
Yep.
Oh, cool. You might be our
Oh yeah.
first
Oh
slot
yeah.
box guy too.
Yep. Like I
And
have three bazookas. They're all sitting in the tool chest right
dude,
now. I don't even touch them.
bust that fucking one of those bazookas out and start messing with it, dude. I challenge you.
I
You know
I've
what?
I've tried it a few times.
For no other reason that they're fun. Once you learn how, and there's a learning curve. They're a bitch. You got to get
Yeah.
past that. Once you learn how, they're a lot of fun. Like when you get good at
Oh
the
yeah.
bazooka, man, it's like you pull that thing out, and bzzz, you're just flying around, and
Oh yeah. You're
it's a
flying.
lot of fun.
You're flying. But
But
having the luxury of
you got
just
used to using a slot box.
yeah,
Crazy,
yeah,
crazy.
because I'm on stilts all the time.
Okay, yeah,
It's super easy for me. You set up your bigger scaffold. You got a bucket of water. You got your
yep,
bucket of mud, which is basically water at this point because it's so loose. And
yeah,
you got your
yeah,
shit box.
yep.
And up there. All you
Do you,
need is
do
just
you
a
have one of those
flusher,
tools? Do you
and
have one
that's
of
it.
those tools that pokes the mud down into the bucket and then you just like reel it out? You, you
Oh
know what I
yeah, yeah,
mean?
the Columbia tape puller. Yeah,
They call that a, what do they call that?
a tape puller, or super
Okay.
taper, something like that.
Okay.
They all,
Interesting.
so many names.
And you
Yeah,
use a Columbia
but
for doing that.
yeah,
Do other companies
yeah.
have do other companies have tape pullers?
If you can find a Circle brand one, hold on to it because you'll never find another one ever again. Because like Circle brand doesn't make those kind of tools anymore. Not that I
Okay.
know of. Like I've got some old ass tools. Like, do you remember
Yeah.
Better Than Ever? Yeah, I still have some of their stuff too. I
No,
have
who I was
some.
just talking. No, I was just talking with a Mills. His interview will drop before this one, but he was talking about the Better Than Ever tools, and I thought it was a funny name. So
Yeah,
we were joking about it. I was like,
yeah,
Better Than Ever. That's ridiculous, you know.
yeah.
But it's a thing.
Oh yeah, I've yeah, because I think they were one of the first few to come out with like corner applicators,
Okay.
whether that be like the corner bead or inside corner applicators. I think
Right,
they were like the first
right,
company to do that, and I thought like that's the coolest shit ever. I like that,
right,
and
right.
I don't know, I kind of stuck with. I've got some old ass Better Than Ever and Circle brand flushers.
Okay.
Fuck, I have an inch and a half one, which like, why do I need an inch and a half flusher
Okay.
just
And
to have?
Is Columbia the only company making the mud puller?
Tape puller? I think so. I I
pardon,
I honestly think so.
pardon my ignorance. Those, you know, and here's what's funny about those too is like I make fun of it because I never learned that way and I never ran it that way. So, you know,
Yeah,
but I've seen dudes now. It seems like that system is faster than the banjo. Like, because I'll make fun of the banjo too. I've ran a banjo, you know, and I've
yeah,
wiped behind guys running banjos that are fast as shit, you know. And it's like,
yeah,
hey, we're all working hourly, whatever, man. You don't want to run the bazooka, I don't care, you know. But I've never ran
yeah.
behind one of those. But those, like, when you see guys doing it proper, are seem like they're really fast. Plus, you've got one long string of tape, you know, where you can
Yeah.
do all your seams, and you could do a lot of seams. I mean, you can bust more than a tube
Oh
of
yeah.
a bazooka tube for sure.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I think my longest. Let's see. I'm trying to think of how much tape I pulled. I'm pretty sure I did
Like a 500 roll, can you do it?
like yeah, yeah. I've pulled. I want to say maybe half of that. It's a good
Okay,
250 feet of tape
okay.
in one box. Now that thing was heavy as shit, but I put some duct tape around it. I'm like, no, I'm determined. Actually, it was a
So,
house that I did with a
do
buddy
you
of
have
mine.
do you have a picture of you with the box like and with mud all over you that you could send me for like the promo shot?
If I can find one, I'll definitely send it to you.
And your Tinder
I know that.
and your Tinder profile picture. Like I want both of us.
Oh, I gotta download Tinder again. Shit. Okay, okay. I'll have to download it again. We'll see if I can do it all sneaky.
Okay, so you have
But
so
yeah, so
walk me through it. You have a mud box. So you had like what type of mud do you use?
we use just regular. So for us, it's a little different than you guys. We don't have the whole USG plus two all that kind of stuff. We have
That's
it's
fine.
the same company kind of thing. It's just CGC. So instead of
Okay.
United States gypsum, it's CGC, right? So it's
Yeah.
Canadian Gypsum Company.
Yeah, yeah.
Same thing, right?
Yeah.
Except for us, we go by the color of the box, green. That's for taping, but no one really uses it because it's annoying to
Right.
work with. There's so much glue in it. Like
Okay.
that will glue your asshole shut.
Okay.
Um, we use red box for taping or all-purpose
Okay.
stuff, which yeah, red's just all-purpose for everything, and orange
When I was
is
up at
machine
the
mud, all black.
CSR for the Black Friday event, I used a yellow box. I think it was CGC.
Was it like an orangey yellow or
Maybe it
oh that
was
would have been Certainty then.
Certainty. Okay, yeah, Certainty. And
Yes. Yeah.
I noticed when I ran the Fresco Harmony with that mud, the way the sealer reacted to the mud created much more movement
Right.
than the USG. So that mud create, which is weird to me. I figured mud's mud, right? But when you seal it with the
Yeah.
Fresco Harmony, it created like way more movement, which a lot of people like. And I was like, oh, that's
Right.
really cool. I said this in my head because it doesn't matter, like as long as it looks consistent. But when I was up there, I noticed that right away. I was like, wow, this mud really like shows off the design. I thought that was really cool. Um, but back
Yeah,
to the
our
back
mud brands are weird.
back to the mud box. So you use an empty mud box to put your tape into after it's run through the
Yeah.
machine. Okay.
Yes.
And you can fit about 250 feet of tape into that mud box,
Yeah, if you
roughly.
squish it down a little bit.
You
Yeah.
squish it down.
Yeah.
Crazy. And do you wear
Or
gloves?
you can bucket. No, are you kidding me, man? These are man's hands. Yeah, I don't wear gloves. No, these are
Okay.
not. These are not no doctor's hands.
These are delicate. These are delicate instruments.
You got some delicate phalanges. These are man hands.
Well, I play the guitar, but I wear the knit gloves. I was always just a mud guy, glove guy. Sorry. Um,
Yeah,
I guess
I
I
don't
guess
like
from
them.
the start. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of the dudes that run the banjo, they like the tactile, the feel the mud. But I know it does dry out your
Yeah,
hands. It's pretty hard on your hands. When you get older, you'll
it does.
understand. But like,
Yeah,
all that shit takes its toll. But there's a lot of
it
people that
does.
don't wear gloves. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more of like a texture thing inside the glove. I don't know. I like to know that there is
Yeah.
mud on the tape, and I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know, it's as simple as just washing your hands, right? It's a water-based product. It's not
Yeah.
going to kill you if you leave it on there for a little longer.
Mm-mm.
Gloves,
Nah.
I get it. If you're working with stuff like fiberfuse, okay, maybe I will. Depends
That
on
fiber
how much I
fuses.
am using it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have a story
If
about
I'm
have
using a
you
whole lot of
do
it,
you use fiberfuse?
I do on like old school lath and plaster patches.
Okay, yeah, it works
That's
great
it.
for that. Yeah, yeah, okay. And
Yeah.
do you run it with quickset or regular?
Both.
Both. Okay. Um,
Sometimes,
I was doing a patch. I've done this twice now too, to my own idiocracy. But like, I was doing a patch, and maybe somebody can chime in if they're listening to the show and they've done this before, or if you've done it. It's quite humorous. But like, like if I'm on a job, I'm on somebody's house. Sometimes you like put little pieces of garbage in your pocket. So I took a little
yeah.
piece of fiberfuse, put it in my back pocket. Maybe about 4 days later, I'm wearing those pants, and I'm like, "Why the fuck's my ass itching?" you know,
Oh no. Yeah, no,
that
I've never
little
done that.
dude, that shit will get into the fibers, and I mean, I'll have to wash my pants like 10 times to get that shit out of there because the
Yeah.
fiberglass like itches your ass or what wherever you put that
Oh yeah.
wherever you put that little chunk of fiber fuse in your pocket. Do not put that stuff in your pocket ever, like, because it'll just ruin your
No.
pants.
That's why you have designated work pants. There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah, I mean, these were maybe they weren't, maybe because I'm like, I used to wear whites like Dickies that were more hardy, and then
Yeah.
when I worked every day, now I'm more of jeans, like I wear jeans, so they're not as heavy duty, the pockets.
Yeah. I'm a sweatpants and jeans kind of guy. Typical drywaller.
Yeah, sweatpants and
Sweatpants
jeans.
are the
Okay,
best. Yep.
sure. And do you wear, somebody was posting, who was it? It might have, no, it was Kayla. She was asking
Yeah.
if you wore tennis shoes
Boots or
or
boots or
boots.
shoes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes depends on how I'm feeling. Like the job I'm doing right now, I'm wearing just casual runners because I'm going up and down the stairs. The
Okay.
person lives in the house. I don't want to track much. Just easy on, easy off kind of thing. But
Okay.
on a job site, because I don't want to get any shit from anybody, just play on the safe side. I'll wear boots just because like I don't want to get in shit. Um, so I will wear boots on like an actual job site.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the union it's required, but I went through like a Crocs phase where I wore like those rubber Crocs for a long time. Total
Yep.
prima donna.
It's actually what I'm wearing right now.
But my current wife, she's a fashionista. She makes fun of them like something fierce, so I can't wear those anymore. But I my theory was like if I'm always monkeying around on scaffold and shit like that, like boots catch, like the big heavy soles on the
Yeah.
boots. I always found them cantankerous to get around on scaffold and like my mobility and stuff. I always like shoes better, like running shoes or because just because I
Yeah.
found that you know what I mean. You're up two stories on a pair on a double Perry or something, and you're monkeying around. It's like I don't want that boot catching, man. It makes me nervous.
Yeah. It's definitely
Also,
different strokes for different folks.
yeah, they don't fit as nicely into the stilts shoe. Also, I've found.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Like with my boots. So I am that guy that wears very expensive boots because, I'm paying to wear something comfortable, right?
yeah,
And so I went with Red Wings. And the second I got on my stilts wearing those things, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I just spent
couldn't
$400 on a
couldn't
pair of
strap.
boots. I couldn't feel the straps. I'm walking around like, is my strap really on in there? And then it
Right.
was just, I was like, you know what? Fuck this. So every time I go on
Um,
stilts, I wear runners now. But
yeah, yeah.
sometimes I'll just suck it up.
Yeah, and again, that's the tactile, like the feeling when you're wearing your stilts, you almost want to feel
Yeah,
that shoe, that platform underneath your
yeah,
shoe, so that you have better mobility, you know.
yeah.
And then so okay, cool. So after you run the slot box, you go to the tools. You have box tools and stuff like that, or do you run it by hand?
Yes.
Okay.
Depends on what I'm doing. I'll always do my beads and butts by hand, almost
Okay.
always, because that's the way I was taught. But well, to skim at least, right? So my first coat on beads, I'll do by hand. If I can do a second coat with a box, then I will.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Depends on the beads. My butts, same thing. I'll do two
Okay.
coats and then I'll skim by hand.
Okay.
Um, but for the most part, I am by hand. I don't believe in nail spotters. I've used them a
Okay.
few times. Not a huge fan. But
Why? How
I
come?
do run boxes.
Just because it leaves that fat,
You know
it
what?
leaves more mud than necessary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and like I sand. I pull sand. I'm that guy who still pulls sands.
Yeah. Have
So
you tried
it
a what type of pull sand? Do you use like the Black Widow or anything like that?
no, I use the Columbia pull sander with Circle Brand or
You like
I
you
believe it's
like
I believe
you
it's
like Columbia
Saya.
stuff. You like the Columbia stuff?
No,
No.
no, no,
What why
no,
the hell
no.
do you use it?
It's just they have.
I was
Hey
gonna
man,
say,
look,
I was
I
gonna
use a
say, dude, I
beard
could
pull
probably
for the
get you a
longest
shirt.
time.
I could probably get you a shirt, but like, screw it, not now, man. Aaron's gonna be like, fuck that guy.
No, no. I already have a Columbia shirt because
Oh, all right.
of some bullshit I was saying about Columbia and CSR.
Oh, that's
Someone gave me a
right.
shirt.
We were gonna talk about that
Yep.
too. I love it, dude. We're gonna stir up all kinds of shit. Meg's gonna be calling me, being like, dude, that guy.
Who is
Oh,
that guy?
yeah. Who is that guy? I don't even know that guy. 23-year-old. What does he know? Yeah.
Damn, what
So
does he know?
so okay,
Youngin.
so Columbia, but I mean, you have your choice, dude. You can use different types of boxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You use the Columbia. Let me get this straight. You use the Columbia, but you don't like the Columbia. Am I getting it right?
Look, I'm not bashing Columbia in any way possible.
No,
Actually,
speak freely,
I
man.
well, actually, yes, I will. Well, like I don't like their boxes. I don't like their customer support, and I don't like any of their auto
Okay.
tools whatsoever. The tape puller and the sanding pole and their flushers. That's it, because their flushers are cheap as shit. $75 for a 2.5 inch. You chip
Okay.
it, throw it away, go get a new one.
Okay.
Right? Their
And
angle
you like
heads
the wait,
are
you like the
good.
flusher versus the glazer?
Yes, because if when we wet tape, you don't really roll it, because when you're just slapping the tape up, your fingers are pretty much a roller. You kind of guide
All
into a
right.
corner. It's
Okay.
it,
All
it's a
right.
messy time. It's fun.
Yeah.
But
That's why I want a picture of you in full battle with like your mud box and like just head to toe
yeah,
with mud. Like that's the picture I want.
that's
Okay,
usually
so
how it looks.
well, you're saving a little bit of time too, not running the roller. You're saving that
Yeah,
step with the slot
yeah,
box. So that's interesting. I never knew that.
yes.
Okay.
But with a glazer or angle head, if it catches the tape in the three-way, it rips it right off. It rips the entire thing.
Yeah.
Um, and there's more chances of the tape ripping because of the blades on it, or even the nose. Um, on the glazer, it'll just pull the tape right off.
Okay.
Whereas
Because
the
your
flush,
tape is sitting there saturated in a box for 20 minutes. It's wet.
yeah, it's soaking wet.
Yeah.
And then with a flusher, it just slides, just easy peasy,
Okay.
and you leaves no mess in the three ways. It's super
Okay.
easy to clean them out.
Have you tried or considered the three-way with Royce and Steve, like the new three-way paper corner that those guys are busting out?
I've I've seen it. I've seen Christy Slade talk about it and use it a handful of times in like basements and stuff.
Yeah.
I think for like an upcoming finisher or like a DIY finisher, small time finisher kind of great, fantastic for you
Okay.
guys, because the three ways are the hardest thing to do sometimes.
Okay.
For me, it's a whole lot easier for me to just go ahead and do the do my three ways by hand. It's just easier that way for
Sure.
me,
Sure.
because
Have you
just so
listened
I'm
to
more
the
not stoked.
three-way interview, the podcast?
I started listening to it. Started
Okay.
listening to it on my way back to my house,
It's
and then I
interesting.
got a call, so I got kind of yeah, it is.
Yeah, Royce
I
is
wouldn't mind
he's
trying
an
it
old
though.
school guy. Well, careful what you wish for, buddy, because each participant of the Drywall podcast is going to get a swag bucket from CSR, and I think we're going to throw
Oh,
a little 5 packet of three ways in there. Except for you, Kyle, you're probably not going to get a swag bucket because
hey, no, it's fine. This has to be a different bucket. As long as like a Home Depot or a Lowe's
You know what?
bucket, that's fine.
I'll sneak you one. When I'm there, like I'll put together a little swag bucket and like set it aside or something. I'll set it outside the back door. You could drive by and like just grab it.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Why not? We'll do that.
So okay, all right. So you have, hey, not everybody has the same story about CSR. They're big supporters of Fresco Harmony. I love them. Brad's an awesome guy. But you had kind of a difficult experience or something there. What tell us about that?
Yeah.
And you wait,
Now
do you go to
this is
CSR? Couple questions here. Do you go to CSR? Do you order stuff from CSR online? Because they also have that option, which is pretty efficient. But then also there's other shops in the area. Do you now just go to a different
yeah.
shop? So tell me what
So I
happened, and then tell me like how you get your tools now.
well, I'll just answer the questions first because it's a bit of a lengthy story. So what I used to go to CSR because it was quite convenient, because their location at Concord, it was
Okay.
maybe 20 minutes away from me, from where I lived at the time.
Okay.
So just hop on the road, on the highway, and off I went. Right, boom, I was there.
Okay.
And I have ordered from them a couple times.
Okay.
Just a bunch of sponges. That's it.
Sure.
And then I did order a flat box from them. This is
Okay.
where everything went sour with
Okay.
fucking CSR.
Okay.
Now I'm not gonna name names, because frankly I don't remember names. I don't
Okay.
care enough to remember the names. But
I'm not
what happened was
I'm not gonna name names because I can't remember their fucking names.
Zach is from Can-Am. Zach's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I ordered a box from CSR. It was a 10-inch Columbia box, right?
Okay.
I was super excited because at the time it was, Drywall Masters. And I was like, you know what? Any upgrade's a good upgrade.
Yeah.
And so I went to go run it, and it was doing just fine. And I did the whole traveling bar calibration, that kind of stuff, where like, I'm not sure if you knew about this, but if you tape your traveling bar a shit ton when it's set on zero, has that nice curve in it. Fantastic. Did it
Okay.
to that. I've done it to all my boxes. It's always ran perfect. And then eventually with the Columbia box, it just wasn't running so well. And I really desperately needed it.
What was going on?
So I was like, you know what?
What was going on
It
with the
was
Columbia
just
box?
it was leaving like I was eating it on butt joints and it would leave it hollow, right? Like it would leave one side of tape hollow,
Okay.
right? Like there'd be like gaps and shit, right?
All right. All right.
And I'm not sure. I'll find a picture of it and I'll send it to you. And it's not just me who's had these issues with Columbia boxes. There have been a few other tapers who have had the same issue.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? Fuck this, man. Like, I'm pissed off. These guys say they're the best in the biz. They
Yeah,
say,
but
they're
did you like call
top in
did
Canada.
you call the shop or try to get a hold of somebody?
Nope, right to Instagram. I am that guy. I don't hold back. I will go right to Instagram
Oh,
and I'll
you were
put
like,
someone on blast.
okay, you were like, God damn
Yeah,
it, these tools suck, and you went like straight to
yeah,
Instagram. You were like, I'm switching
yeah,
to. So, well, you're still running the Columbia,
yeah.
right?
Okay, no, I'm not running Columbia boxes, or I'm not running. I'm
Okay.
man. You know what? If I could paint them a different color, I would. Okay, it's just
Okay, all
I'm
right,
just
fair
too
enough.
lazy.
Okay, so
Um,
instead,
but
though, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So instead of like calling the company or calling CSR, but you did call CSR. You went on
they
to
called me.
you
Yeah.
went on to Instagram and blasted. So after you went on Instagram, then CSR reached out to you.
Yes, they said, hey, give us your tracking number, all that kind of stuff, and your order number,
Okay,
and we'll call you, get this figured out. I'm like, you know what? Fine, okay. Maybe
cool.
I took the wrong approach here, right? Own up to it, 100%.
Okay, cool.
And then I get a call, and the guy was like, hey, man, you're not the first person to have these issues with the boxes, and I'm thinking to myself, like, why wouldn't you guys fucking say something or do something, have a recall on these boxes if people are obviously complaining about them?
Yeah,
Right? Like I get it, CSR is just a distributor, but as a distributor, have like a callback kind of thing or a recall for these boxes for being messed up. Anyways,
yeah.
so there was no recall, no nothing. They said, hey, you know what? Bring it back and with all the information, we'll give you a refund
Okay.
and a new box from a brand of your choice. I was like, you know what? Maybe I did take the wrong approach. I
Shut the
publicly
front door.
apologized on Instagram. Yeah, so I publicly apologized to CSR, all that kind of stuff,
Oh, okay.
and then the next day I go there with the box. I was like, hey, just want to let you know that yes, I got a call from one of you guys saying that I could bring back my box because I'm having these issues, and I would get a refund on top of a new box.
Sure.
And at the time, I asked for a level 5 10-inch box because um, level 5 seemed pretty good, right? They got some cool stuff. I want to try them because they're budget friendly, whatever.
Yeah.
Gives me the box. And I was like, oh, so what my refund? He was like, no, it's either you get the refund or you get the box. I'm like, well, I was told I'm getting the box and the refund.
Which
So I would
which
like my
which
money.
sounds a little crazy. Not like when you say it, it's like,
Yeah,
maybe you
yeah,
misunderstood, maybe they misspoke. There was a misunderstanding
yeah,
at any rate. It was like, yeah, generally you get your refund or you get a new box, whatever you want. You want to try the
yeah,
level 5, we'll give you level 5 or whatever.
yeah.
But you were
Now
pissed
I get
after
it. There could
you
have
were
been.
pissed after that. You were like,
Yeah, yeah. This is not what I want to deal with at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning on a goddamn fucking Wednesday. Okay, I got stuff
okay.
to do, right? And
Yeah.
so I'm like, you know what? Fine, whatever. So I take my 10 level 5 box and I walk out with the Columbia as well. I got two boxes in my hand. Okay. First thing I did, Instagram, level 5 10 inch
Oh
box for
no.
sale, $400, right? put it on Kijiji, put it on Facebook Marketplace. Boom.
Okay.
Within like 3 hours, both boxes were sold. I'm like, you know what? The one of my books didn't need them anyways.
You were like, I need to start selling tools.
So, yeah, my God, this is a great like side gig, just complain about a tool being wrong, being all messed up. Get a
All
new
right.
one, sell
Well,
them out.
yeah, no, it sounds interesting. But so what boxes are you running now?
Right now, I'm currently running North Star.
North Star. So
Yeah,
that's like
I've
that,
switched.
that
So I've switched to the green team.
you went full Cadillac.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you don't mind
I'm
paying
very happy with it.
you're happy with it. You don't mind paying a little extra. Where did you get the North Star from? And are you still ordering stuff from CSR online?
So I no, I don't order from CSR at all anymore.
Okay.
When I was doing a job with a buddy of mine, I kind of just sent him to go to CSR instead of me. So technically, I was still getting stuff from CSR, but I
That
wasn't actually going in there and paying for it.
there's a picture of you. You go into CSR, there's a picture of Kyle like on the wall, like do not sell, do not
Yeah,
sell to this
yeah,
guy.
yeah, exactly. Do not sell. Do not sell to the honky tonk
This
gamer.
guy, the honky tonk, he could take his
Yeah,
honky tonk ass right out of here.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
funny.
Fuck
That's
this
funny.
guy. But yeah, so my North Star boxes, I got extremely lucky. Because when I got them, I was I forgot when I got them. It was in August. I was going to go see my boy Dennis at Drywall Tool Source. Kind of just picking up some stuff before gearing up for the big ass job that we're doing.
Okay.
And I took a peek over in the corner. I'm like, hey, whose North Star boxes are those? Right? He's like, oh, this guy came in and wanted to sell them. No one's, really piqued an interest. I'm like, you know what? I'll fucking take them. How much do you
Yeah.
want? And I think for the 10-inch and the 12-inch, I paid like $600
Oh, okay.
for those two.
Still,
The 12-inch didn't have, yeah, it just didn't have shoes or wheels on it on the 12-inch. But other than that, they were both in immaculate, pristine condition,
okay.
fantastic. Yeah.
Cool.
And now they're kind of just sitting in my storage room now, kind of just chilling there.
And you haven't used them yet?
No, I've used them. I keep them very, very clean, very
You
tidy
keep
and
them
away
clean.
from everything because I
Yeah.
I just want to keep those in perfect condition.
They're your babies.
So if you take care of your tools, yeah, take care of your
Yeah,
tools, they'll take care of you.
absolutely. I mean, outside of the slot box, are you a pretty clean taper? Do you keep your shit really clean?
Oh fuck no.
No, you're
Oh God
messy.
no.
Okay.
No, actually, I
Uh,
think there's. I'm trying. Oh yeah, I'll show you. Actually, that's my pump. It's
nice.
never cleaned. Yeah, this doesn't even come off anymore.
Were you the one
So
that was
no,
just
my
were you the one that was just post? No, it was Sean Ramsden with Brawley's dad. He was posting about like keeping his pump like messy as shit, but it doesn't matter because if you keep like water on the top or something or if you keep it like submerged or some weird thing, it like never gets like messy on
yeah
the inside or something.
yeah. I usually stick it in the bucket of water when I'm done with it.
Okay.
But let's see what. Yeah, and Brad Hanna, he's the exact same way.
What
His
he's a
pump is
shut up.
and he's
He
he's
he
messy. He is.
Brad's messy? Oh, dude, I'm bringing it up.
Oh yeah,
I,
his
I,
tools.
I have a live interview with Brad Hanna this Friday at CSR. I'm gonna be talking to all
Oh
those
shit.
guys. You better believe it, dude. Those guys are gonna like know
Yeah.
about Kyle.
Brad knows of me. We've chatted a few times because
Okay,
I've done a lot of work with his old partner,
okay,
Wes Henry, Mud
okay,
Masters. So
okay.
yeah, Brad knows of me.
And maybe you know what? Maybe we could bury the hatchet and whatever.
Yeah.
We're all drywallers, man. At the end of the day, we all have the sort of the same goal. I've had. Have you listened to the interviews with Aaron and from Columbia, the Columbia Tools interviews?
No, not
Okay,
yet.
those
No,
are
I haven't gone
they're
down to
pretty
that point yet.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good. How many interviews have you listened to?
Uh, I'll have to go back and look, but I listened to the platformer one. That
Oh,
one I
okay.
liked a lot. That dude,
Yeah.
he's cool shit.
Yeah.
Let's see. I started listening to the three-way one. Um,
That one's pretty
what
good.
else is there?
The audio's a little
Yeah,
weird, but Royce is like he's like old school guy, you know. Like he was making
yeah,
those three ways. He
yeah,
was making those three ways in his living room, you know, like because
yeah,
he felt like it'd save a bunch of time. He
yeah.
claims
I definitely see it.
he claims it'll shave 25% off your job. Like you go around, you do all your angles and leave your tape short, you know? You can leave your tape like short from the angle cuz you're then you
Yeah,
go back, you glaze it all, whatever, let it or flush it all. You would flush it all, let it all dry, and then you can take your
yeah,
time, go back in and put in these three ways, you know, la di da.
yeah.
It's pretty it's a different system
But
for sure.
is the amount of money you're spending worth the amount of time you're saving, though?
If you're considering 25%, like that is a high number,
Yeah,
that's the part where I was like, really, you're saving that much time? But they made some good points about like, well, you don't have to pick that corner out three times, you know. Once you hit it,
yeah,
it's done, you know. So that's an interesting, just like with the slot box, you don't have to roll your corners. That's one advantage. There's like, you know,
yeah,
people don't consider all of the advantages. And then my challenge for anyone interested is like, well, get a package of 5 or 25 and try it. Like you don't know
yeah.
until you actually use the damn thing, you know. Just like
Exactly,
for anybody that's never ran a slot box, like, well, you can make fun of it all you want, but unless you've ran it, you don't know how fast it is, you know,
exactly. Like, you know
and
what?
how different it
I
is.
I am willing to race anybody, anybody. Okay,
With
me
a
doing
bazooka?
shitbox, them bazooka, banjo, don't care.
Oh, dude, I'd crush you with a bazooka.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, let's see you hop on some stilts. Let's find some nice houses. Okay. Let's get it done. Okay.
And see,
Because
this
I've
leads into we that wouldn't that be fun to do? We I was talking with Meg about like, you know, wouldn't it be cool to have a house and like invite a bunch of finishers to come finish like, you know, a lot of square footage, a bunch of different finishers, man. People could
oh
race,
yeah.
you know, whatever. Everybody could flex their drywall skills, you know, and all that stuff. It'd be really cool.
Oh yeah. Like Curtis
Yeah.
and I, we've been trying so hard to like plan a race because he is all auto and I'm like kind of sort of auto, semi-auto. I don't I don't use many tools, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Curtis
but
Fa.
he's like bazooka. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
He's like bazooka, angle head,
Yeah.
boxes, nail
Yeah.
spotter,
Yeah.
right? And I'm just like, dude, just because I
Yeah.
gotta spend an hour pre-filling everything but 10 flats doesn't mean I'm not gonna be any faster.
Do you use like the hopper, the corner bead hopper, or like the semi-automatic tools for applying mud at all? Like, do you use any of that
No,
like Can-Am
no,
shit? Okay.
no.
All right.
I do have Can-Am tools, just the tube and the inside corner applicator.
Okay.
That's it, really.
All right.
Yeah.
Pearl of wisdom that you could bestow upon the drywall community. Put it on a billboard. What would you say to your fellow finishers and boardmen, sheetrockers in the industry?
Oh, there's a lot that I could say. Oh, fuck.
No, it's got to be
I
good,
don't know. Like,
dude.
there's this,
You know,
yeah.
a pearl of wisdom from a
I
23
don't
year
know.
old.
Dude, even like every day I'm looking for wisdom, you know?
You're
There's not
still
much
looking.
I can say.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what?
I
That is a
mean,
good pearl of wisdom, Kyle. Always be looking for a pearl of wisdom. You know,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, man. I don't
try
see why
not
not.
try not to know it all. Well,
Oh,
think
I think there's one. Oh,
you
yeah.
got one?
You
You
know
got
what?
one? Let's have it.
I
Come
think
on.
so. I've heard this years ago.
Okay.
and my dad was giving me shit. He
Okay.
was like, you know what? Doesn't matter how you do the job as long as you get done. But how it came down to is him saying there's more than one way to skin a cat, but only
Yeah.
one way to eat it. Meaning, no matter how the hell you do the job, whether it be shitbox, bazooka, banjo, tube, and applicator, it doesn't matter. How you get it done,
Yep.
it's still gonna get done at the end of the day.
That's right.
So
That's a good one.
yeah,
When I was training Jack with Fresco, I never wanted to let him do it because I wanted it to look a certain way. And then finally, the busier we got, the busier I got selling product, doing other shit, I had to let go. And as you get older and
yeah,
you might train people to work with you, people that train people understand there's a letting go point where you have to let go, and they're not going to do it
yeah,
the way that I want it done. He still doesn't do it the way I want it done. He's messier than me. I'm clean as fuck,
yeah,
but like he's messy. That's fine. But all I care about is when I walk on after that job is sealed, that it looks good. That's all I give a shit. Like
yeah,
to obviously try not to leave a huge mess when we're in people's homes and shit like that. But like, I get
yeah,
annoyed by that. But at the end of the day, man, if that tape is getting on, if those butts and bands are getting ran cleanly, it looks good, and the homeowner's happy, then that's a win.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm a very, very messy taper. It's disgusting. There's more mud on
Sure.
the floor than there are walls, but
Okay.
it's okay. Still looks
That's
pretty.
just yeah,
Looks
that's
nice.
just the way you roll with it, man. And hey, you know what, Kyle, too, I appreciate your honesty, man. We're having fun here. I think, and also to our listeners, like this is, and I've talked to Aaron, he's a good friend of mine with Columbia, and I've talked to Brad Hanna, owner of CSR. They're both great guys, and they value this feedback, and even as a business owner and a
Yeah,
product manufacturer, somebody has a bad experience with Fresco Harmony, I want to hear about it. Okay. Even though it's hard to
yeah,
take, it's valuable feedback, for somebody that's has an ultimate goal of running a good business and creating a good product. Like that's paramount, and I know those guys, and i
yeah.
know
You know,
i
it's
know that's important to them.
constructive criticism is
Yeah.
a lot of people may get offended by it, but at the end of the day, that's what really like that's what makes you better, right? You got to be knocked down a couple times to realize, okay, this is what I can do
Yeah.
better. How can I do this? How can I do that? You know, you have to take a constructive criticism. There are so many things that I've done wrong, and people told me, hey, do it this way, it might be better, or do it this way instead, and it's always turned out perfect, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um, it's constructive criticism is it goes such a long way. You just gotta swallow your pride and put your feelings away and accept the fact that people are going to say things. And it's one of the best things. It's
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it a lot. I like
Well,
getting some kind of constructive criticism. I like it.
I dig it, and I dig that aspect about this interview. Kyle Herbert, Peerless Taping, 23-year-old out of Crawford, Ontario, the honky tonk taper, and slot box master. Thanks for being on the
That's
Drywall
me.
Podcast, man. I
Thanks
appreciate
for
it. It
having
was
me.
fun. It was fun, right?
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm excited to hear my own voice on a podcast.
Yeah, yeah. You sound okay. You sound all right. We all think we sound weird, but we
Yeah,
sound fine. Um,
you
uh,
sound pretty normal.
Yeah, we're gonna get we'll get you a swag box bucket from CSR. I'll wrangle it, man. I'll talk to Brad over there. um and I hope you have a good rest of your day, man. Hopefully you go get something done,
You
man.
too.
All right,
Always.
man. You have a
All
good
right.
have a good day. We'll talk soon.
All right. Take care,
All right,
man.
later.
Thanks.
Special thanks to Kyle Herbert for being with us on the Drywall Podcast today. I enjoyed talking to you, and I appreciate your time. The Drywall Podcast can be listened to every Friday with a new episode on your favorite platforms such as Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and also YouTube. Shout out to Can-Am Tools for sponsoring the Drywall Podcast for the months of March and April. Industry-leading tools that help professionals around the world save time and money. Now, for the months of March and April, you can get your hands on these awesome tools at a discounted price. If you go to canamtools.com and enter promo code TDP15. The Drywall Podcast was also brought to you by Fresco Harmony, now available at www.csrbuilding.com. Guests of the Drywall Podcast will receive a sweet swag bucket donated by CSR as well. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Drywall Podcast. Stay tuned for Wolfgang Dombrowski next Friday. And remember, keep drywalling.